Hi guys, it's Les here in West Yorkshire over at orchidspecies.co.uk. What I'm doing today is I'm going to repot these, which are called Rossioglossum grande, otherwise known as a clown orchid. Now these have reached the maximum size they're going to go in this pot. As you can see, they're right up to the edge. So these need repotting. And now this particular plant is one that comes from Mexico, and here's a photo of it. As you can see, the very striking flowers, and the large flowers as well. These flowers are going to be something like, probably 5 inches across. Beautiful looking thing. But then they've got these lovely big bulbs, but they do get this papery thing at the bottom, which can look a bit untidy, but that's easy. Just pull it off when it was crispy, like that. It used to be called Odontoglossum grande, but then they renamed it, as they tend to do these things. So what I'm going to do with this, we're now this week back with the coarse bark. This is the 12 to 18 millimeters material, as you can see. It's quite coarse, and I'm using the 15 centimeter pots. They don't have to be transparent pots. If you've got normal terracotta coloured or any other colour, that's perfectly okay. It's just that I tend to use these for everything. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I've got to do actually is remove them from the pot. Let me just get rid of one. Now, with this particular plant, it really doesn't like being disturbed. So if I was to go in there and start ragging away at the roots, it would go backwards. The plant would shrink more or less. So what I've got to do, I'll bring this up here so you can see. Let me just check you can see that. Yeah. What I'm going to do is squeeze the pot all the way around, because these plants will stick to the pot on the inside, and if you just try and yank it off, you're going to damage the roots. So we want to minimise that as much as possible. So if we squeeze around the pot, that's going to make them come away from the plastic, and then grasp the plant firmly by one of the solid back bulbs and twist it out, and there you go. Empty pot, as you can see, and that's the root system. They're very similar to Cymbidium roots in appearance. Now this particular grower has planted the thing with bark and with peat, and also with sphagnum moss with the look of this. This sphagnum is possibly from when it was a seedling. Now what we've got to do with this is gently unpick all of this ball, and it's quite a laborious task, and you just got to take your time, because you don't want to break these roots, because if you start ragging at it, it really doesn't like it. So I'll keep on at this. This particular plant, as I've said, is from Mexico, and it needs a minimum temperature, I would say, of around about 15 degrees, 14-15 degrees, in order to get the best out of it. And it does flower regularly, and it's always impressive with the size of the flowers. Now, as you can see, I'm still picking away, and you can use tools to help you pry it free. And what I'm doing, I'm trying to create a passageway into the centre, like that, and then I can pick away at some more. Like I say, it's more laborious than it is with a lot of other orchids, but if you start ragging at it, it'll not flower for ages. So as you can see, it's coming off. Right, so I think I'm going to call that a day. That's as much as I need to strip off. As you can see inside, it's pretty much empty now. None of the roots have been damaged. They've all got the still new growing tips on, like this one, like these, around here, look. They're the important things. So now you've took all the rubbish off, you can start with the pot. Now what we can establish by looking at this is that this is an old flower stem that you can see, and it's coming from this old bulb. Now this old bulb is off this flower stem, is producing a new one which will flower not this next time but the time after. This bulb here hasn't flowered yet, so this is the one that's going to flower next. So while I've got it in this state, I shall take the time to pick off this brown material. As you can see, these husks, sheaths, just pick them down and just easily pull off, just like crispy paper. Just get it tidied up, because all of this stuff will hold moisture, and perhaps there are some times during the year when you don't want that moisture. So there we go. Right, so now we've tidied it up and we've already established it's growing in this direction. I'll put a little bit of bark in the bottom, and what I'm going to do with this, as I'm filling in with the bark, I'm trying to get some back into the cage that we created. Remember, we created a cage of roots. So tap it in, and this time you want to make sure that you give it a good squeeze so that you can squeeze any bark you can back into the cage of roots so that it's supported like that. Massage it, and then we can gently position the plant further over to that side. And don't forget, you can firm this material down as much as you like. You're not going to over compact it. Now then, because this is a very, very strong growing plant, and I don't want the flower spike to come out at a strange angle, what I'm going to do is actually use a stick to straighten this bulb up. So I'm going to position this stick at this side of it, and then I'm going to use one of the plastic Omega clips. You see that? Just to hold it in position from down at the bottom and just pull it in towards the middle. Like that, and that, just a little bit of tension, will be pulling it back gently, ever so gently, and that will now root in a more upright position for me. And I should be able to remove that stick as soon as this is rooted, because it will then hold itself up. So what we need to do with that now is label it up with today's date and obviously the plant name, and then give it a really good water from the top with the hose pipe. And again, I use reverse osmosis water. Flush it right through, give it a good tap, do it again, flush it right through, and that should be perfectly good in that pot now for the next 18 months or so. I would guess that this bulb here will flower in probably about 2 months' time, and it will flower for about 2 months itself, by which time this new one will be in this position, so it will continue with the next flush, and then it will just continue on like that. So that's a really good plant. So anyway, that's how you repot the Rossioglossum grande, the clown orchid from Mexico. And don't forget, do not rag the roots. It doesn't like it. It will take ages to come back, and you may very well lose it. So anyway, I hope you found it useful. Don't forget, you can purchase these things at orchidspecies.co.uk. And subscribe if you've not already subscribed. It costs you nothing to subscribe, and you'll receive an email as soon as I do a new video, and you can come and watch it at your leisure. And if possible, share this video, share it on Twitter, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, etc, etc. It helps me greatly. So in the meantime, take care, and I'll catch you next video.